3 years practical experience. He spent his first 11 years in clinical environment. He's a doctoral fellow working on workplace health and wellness promotion as his study area. He works as a chief executive officer at Occupational Health and Safety Managers. He's the head of faculty, OSH University, and the president of OSH Africa. He's a regional ambassador to Patient Safety Movement Foundation, also a workplace mental health ambassador. He's a member steering committee, European Network Education, and training in occupational safety and health.
Mr. Ayu will be talking resulting from poorly designed space. Mr. Ayu, you have the floor now, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon. Yes, it's afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. It's been a very insightful moment. I have sat here and listened carefully to all that's been put up. It's been very insightful, a lot to learn, and a lot of messages to take home. So within the time I have at my disposal, I have to share a few thoughts on the safety in design and ergonomic risk. While I was listening to the presentations from the panelists, and a thought kept flashing through my mind, and which of course has to come with design. I went to audit a building, a government agency, about 3 years ago, and I realized how we use our own hands to set ourselves up, because we tend to put aesthetic above safety in all that we do. So what we realized within this building was that everything they did was ruined by aesthetic value, in the sense that when they have fire, the fire truck, even if they are able to get to the building or get to the street, they cannot access the building to render support in putting out fire. And most times, those are issues that come up from design point. And a lot have been said on that, but we'll just focus more on what we'll do with ergonomic perspective in the context of this presentation. I wasn't here from the beginning, and I'm sure a lot of things have been said on safety in design on a wider perspective. Like in some contexts, it's called safety in design. In some, it's called prevention through design. In some, it's called safety by design. In some, it's called safety at design. But when you put all together, they are all the same thing, but geographically, the concepts are being used as it suits wherever you're coming from, but we refer to the same thing. I wouldn't waste our time, because I'm sure the definition has already been put forth by so many presenters that came before me. But I'll just put up here is that it's a movement that encourages construction or product design to design out health and safety risks during design development. That means a lot of thought processes have to go into design. It's not just what we see. I mean, like health and safety, it's a product and it's a service. And that's where it becomes a little complex in its own management. If Toyota have wrong design or a design error in their products, they are able to recall those products out of the market. In the safety in the product part of safety, yes, we can do that. But in the service part of safety, it is difficult to do that, because the services are created in the midst of the workplace. So that's why it is very important that when we come to the workplace, we also need to understand that whatsoever we create by our behavior, by what we put in, it is difficult to recall. And if care is not taken, somebody suffers for it. You must learn to design with safety in mind. It is always easier than trying to think safety after design. You know, the truth is that it is cheap, it is more affordable to incorporate safety at the design stage than trying to modify what we already designed and trying to find a place to set or insert safety. So when you're thinking of a concept, be it a product, be it a work process, be it a work building, the truth is that it is easier for us to have safety at the center of this design. Ergonomic design should never be an afterthought that is begun when the design process is already in full swing. Think about ergonomics. Those that are going to use this system, these processes, this product, what does this product mean to their safety? It's not just about how beautiful a product is, it's about how safe a product is to use. As technology is fast evolving, we must understand also that businesses stand high level of competitiveness, and products are changing every day, and designs are changing every day. And the urgent need to take safety at concept stage is of utmost importance based on technological development. In a technology-driven economy, products of design become obsolete too fast and too quickly. What this means is that we are churning out products every day by virtue of increase or development in technology, and every product needs to be thought through the safety of the end users, the safe process within the product, so that at the end of the day, it is not just to design a product, but it's to design a product that will not give risk exposure to the users or whoever come in contact with the product. The need for constant improvement is fast creating new set of risks. And that's why we say we must understand that it is not just every change that brings about improvement. Yes, we will make change, but within those change, let the thought of safety be at the center of the change we are bringing in. So every change does not ultimately mean improvement. So we must keep that at the back of our mind. While we are thinking of the product we're designing, we must have these 4 categories of processes in mind. One, we must think about the end users, the workers that are going to use this product. We must first think about it, because if the product is good in your own assumption and exposes worker to new dimensions of risk, what you have just done is that we have just replaced an old problem with a new one. So it doesn't really make any sense. We must also think of the workplace where this product will be used. Example is when you are creating a level of chemical into the market for obvious reason. In the workplace where it's going to be used, have you looked at what could be the possible things that will be available in the workplace? The aeration, the quality of air that is needed within the workplace. Does this chemical, does it add to the risk that we already have in the workplace, or is going to better make this place habitable for people to work in while they use the chemical? We must also consider the tools we are going to use while doing our work, because if the tools that we use in our workplace are not considered in design, it also becomes a problem to the people that use the tools. And then we must also consider the work processes. That's why NEBOSH described or defined ergonomics as man-machine interface. So there must be a clear interface between the man, the tools that the man uses, the workplace where the man works, and the work processes. These must all intertwine properly, harmonize properly, else it will be risky or pose risk to the user. Then when we look at contextual definition of ergonomics, like I said earlier on, that NEBOSH calls it man-machine interface. But you can also look at it as the applied science of equipment design as for the workforce, intended to underline the word maximize productivity by reducing operators' fatigue and discomfort. So any product that we must design, we must look at the comfort of the users, comfort and convenience in the place where the product will be used. This must be clearly thought out. And if it's not meeting this, we can say that the product was designed without safety in mind or without ergonomics in mind at the end of the day. The consideration in safe design. We have all seen seats designed in diverse manner. But the truth is that don't look at the seat that is just beautiful. It may look so beautiful, but not serve the purpose by which you really need it. So when we are doing design, what happens these days is that people look at how do we beautify this design? How do we make it have what you call visual appeal? But within this visual appeal, where is the safety appeal? That is the question we are asking. What is the safety appeal? It can appeal visually, but when it's deployed to the market, to the users, with this seat, will it pose more risk to the users? Will it be convenient, safe enough for the users? These are the questions we must keep asking ourselves while we proceed towards design. The two things that must be clear in our design are: one, the safety of the product. Does it pose new risks to the users or to the people that go work with it? Then secondly, how comfortable is this? These are two questions that we must keep answering or keep asking as we are going about our design process. It's very important. As a matter of fact, designing safe product is not an easy task, but you can only achieve what you put your mind to do, because it needs to have a lot of hazard identification within the product. What is the risk assessment you must think at? It must be a complete process thinking has to get involved. When you think from end to end, what could be the risks that this product may expose the user to. So you must think the whole process in ensuring that whatever product you have, you bring at the end of the day, it has high level of safety components within it. The most seats that we see, they are designed to be very beautiful, but that's meeting the aesthetic value, but the safety value are never met. That's why you see most seats, they look so beautiful, but when you sit on it ergonomically, it doesn't massage or align with your lumbar part of your body. So you use this seat over a period of time. The thing you come back with is high exposure to lower back pain. And lower back pain has become a very key issue. I mean, we're all still within the pandemic era where most of us are made to work at home. And this has become a very prevalent issue that has been fingered within remote working, where people work with awkward seat body posture in wrongly engineered seats, which of course leave them with low back pain, upper back pain, thigh pain, which of course is sending most people to hospital right now. If you follow the Bupa report recently, one of the things that they say is that people are taking more medications than they ought to take. They feel they're taking more medication than they ought to take. Why? Because they are exposed to wrong sitting position, using wrong seat at home while they work remotely. And these are key issues that are coming out from design that are not safe. Then there's a key concept in ergonomics called anthropometry. And if you must get involved in safe design, I mean, to create ergonomic friendly design, you must keep this key word in mind. Then the question is, what is anthropometry? Anthropometry refers to the measurement of human individuals. This has been used for identification and for the purposes of understanding human physical variation. This is my palm. You must measure my palm. If you are to do a product that is bespoke to me, you must take measurement of my palm to know what exactly is the measurement of my palm. Do variation of human individuals. See where the variation is in trying to design a product that we can call human-centric, or a product that ministers safety to its end user. And this is very important. Then let's even take it from geographical point of view. That's why we have products that we have in Nigerian market. We tend to use it, but they were not designed to our body configuration. Why? Because they were not designed within our environment. So when we are talking about safe design, you must take environment where that design is being made into consideration, and the body structure of people that live within the environment. That's where anthropometry actually comes in, looking at the human physical variation. Take, for example, the people that work people from the Asian continent. Let's use South Koreans. Let's use Chinese, and let's use them as an example. They have smaller body structure. When you juxtapose that with those of us who live in Africa or those who live in America, where you have obesity actually taking a high dimension of Australians. But when you take the people from Asia and use that as your benchmark, I mean, when you are doing your anthropometry to design a product, what you have done with that product is that you have designed a product that fits perfectly the people of Asia, but when that product is exported to Africa, it becomes a problem, because at the beginning of it, Africans or the people with that kind of body size were not captured in anthropometric evaluation. So these are the kind of things we must look at. Who are the people you are designing the product for? We must look at what is the geography, what is the demography, what is the age bracket you are designing the product for. this must all be put in place if we must design a product that's ergonomically friendly to the users at the end of the day. If we don't do this, you design a product in Asia, you find out that you bring it into Africa, people that use it, they are confined, they don't have enough leg room, they're squeezed together because what you use as your anthropometric value were not the same body size of people that will end up being the end users. And these are critical issues that must be considered in design. And even when we design products in safety, these are very clear indications. Even when we're designing our workstations, this must be put in place. When we are putting together our workstation, this must be put in place. And even in our sittings, in our adjustments, you don't put a man that has a big body size and put in a seat that was created for a man who is not really big in stature or who is also small in physical stature. So this will actually confront his body, his physical body stature, and leave him with a lot of risk exposure that comes with so much pain and most times deformity. And not even deformity, even over time, it leads to disability. And this disability, most times they last for too long, and some are not able to get corrected even in your entire lifetime. Then when we look at an anthropometric consideration, now this organization wants to design a bottle. You can see the process. The first thing is looking at anthropometric hand measurements, measuring the hands of the people that he feels this bottle will be designed for. Why are they taking pain to do this? Because they understand the fact that safety is important if people have to use, because if you're a product designer and you don't look at this consideration and your competitor look at this consideration, people feel safer using your competitor's product and they withdraw from you. So when this company was trying to come up with a bottle, they were taking measurement and see what they're doing, looking at hand measurement, looking at the anthropometric consideration, and they went as far as creating the size of bottle that will fit into the hands, average hand that they measured for the market they were designing this product for. At the end of the day, you can see what they came up with. This was what they were trying to arrive at, why these three processes have to take place. So it is as serious as this, trying to look at safety at the point of design. A lot of considerations have to come into product before we can actually have what you call safe product. We most times are not able to have some safe products or safe designs, not because we can't have it. People who are the owners of those products, who are creating those designs, they don't just want to take the pain to go through what they ought to go through and come up with product that is human-centric, that is human-friendly, that will not leave people with pain at the end of the day. But they just want the product being in the market. Whatsoever the people feel at the end of the day, it's not their business, so long as the product is there. But if you are somebody who thinks about the safety of the end users, your consideration must have a lot of anthropometric value to come up with a product that human beings can find safe to use. Then when we think about workstations, definitely this also what we look at. For us to be able to get where we have our leg room, we need to do what we call anthropometric evaluation in designing our workstations. What is the body size of the people that we are designing these workstations for? What is their physical build up? We need to think about that before we can come up with what we really have as workstations that are designed for people. Like I said, if we design workstation in Africa, we will think about the body structure, the geography, our genetic build up of people in Africa to design what we think really fits for them. That's why I say again, when we design product out from a place where you have people with smaller size, it becomes very difficult for that product to be safe in a region where people are naturally big like we have in Africa. Then design consideration. Consider ergonomics at the early stage of design. It is difficult to factor ergonomics into the design when the design has been completed. So design at the onset must consider ergonomics. That's what we call safety at design. Ergonomics at the design stage. You must identify your targets before considering ergonomics, because you say, I want to consider ergonomics, but you are working with the people that have small body stature, and that's a ergonomic consideration you're using, but that's not your market. So you claim to have considered ergonomics using small size body personalities, but you are sending the product to people that have, I mean, fairly big body structure. So yes, did you consider ergonomics? You did, but you were using the wrong geography or wrong demography to come out with a product. So the product comes out, at the end of the day, it doesn't fit into what you want it to, into people that have large body size. But when you are creating a product that is generic in design, yet you may just average what you think is available and also consider where you think this average fits in. So most time this is left out in the midst of the call. Let's assume you're designing a product where you design a pruning shear like scissors for trimming flower or in our garden. When you are going to design this product, you must consider what is the age bracket of people that actually do this. So definitely, you look at those who are retired and want to walk around their garden without those pruning shears, trimming their flowers. So you must put into consideration that you are designing a product for people that live on the older side, that don't have enough strength to keep squeezing pruning shear that is very strong. So it means at that place where they have to hold those pruning shear to trim their flowers, it must be soft enough for them to be able to squeeze. I mean, unlike when you're designing something for a youth that still have so much strength, they can take, no matter how hard it is, use strength to operate that machine, and it works for them. But people that are elderly may not have such strength, so you must consider them when you are doing those designs. So you must consider also the following. Like I said earlier, the age group, I mean, demography that you are designing this product for, location, look at the geography, where are they from? I give you a clear example. When we went for a conference in South Korea, that was 2015, 2016. For me, really, I didn't go with a jacket because when I get to conference, I want to buy a jacket to do my presentation because so I can reduce my excess luggage. When we got to South Korea, the second day, I went to the mall to look for a blazer to buy. I couldn't find a blazer that fits into my physical structure because the market I was in, they have smaller body structure. So the blazers that were designed, the clothes that were designed, were made for the structure of the body structure of the people within that environment. I thought I was able I spent 3 hours in that mall until I was able to buy one blazer, which of course was still not myself. I mean, it just fitted, but I had to just use that to do my presentation. But I thought I was the only one that went through that problem until we met other African women who came for that same conference. They all were full of complaints. They couldn't buy a dress to come back to Africa. Why? Because of this, what we talk about anthropometry, the geography that this was being designed for wasn't where we're coming from. So we couldn't just get what fits us. So that's what we talk about. When we are making your design, you must look at location, you must look at the geography, look at the employment status, and possibly the gender. What sex are you designing for? You see, it became obvious, I mean, when COVID-19 came, how laptop was not really ergonomically designed. And that became one of the big revelations that we had during the COVID-19. And people, we have worked with laptop for many years, but because of our dependence on laptop and continuous hours where we're now working with laptop in our homes, it became obvious, known to everybody, that one of the most unergonomically designed products in the workplace is the laptop. And that's why you see people started making further adjustments. What do we do? And you see, this is what was never considered at the point that laptops were being designed. But are you going to run off laptop? No. But what we had to do was to make what you call supplementation, adjustment, to see how we can make laptop safer for us to use. But really, we found out that laptop is some product that didn't really think about ergonomics when they were being going through what you call the design stage. So some of the supplementation if you look at laptop on its own, it creates what you call hunching. Hunching is where you have to look down, to get at your screen. But when you have the desktop could be adjustable better than the laptop can ever be. So you have to keep hunching, and this hunching had led to high prevalence of what you call upper back pain, because hunching, when you hunch, you sit in an upward body posture, which disfigures your body structure. For that period of hours, you are going to sit working with that laptop. And that's why you see most people are down with upper back pain, lower back pain, because laptop didn't give this possibility for us to. But what we're supposed to do now, start looking at what are those supplementation. Dock station, it has become what people can now use to elevate the laptop so that you can have that configuration that you need to keep your body safe and healthy. When you look at the desktop, unlike the laptop, you can see the difference. So you can use the desktop without really hunching and look at the eye view to the screen is proportional, unlike the laptop. So this was revealed during this period of COVID-19. We realized how unergonomically that laptop were designed. So these are areas where safety should be thought through at design stage. I'm sure that these reports are started coming out right now. Those who are creating laptop will look for what to do in improving the safety in laptops so that people can feel safer to use them without really coming down with further ergonomic pain or MSDS, musculoskeletal disorder. You can see the compensatory design that people are coming up with, the supplementary design. People are having dock station where you can use to elevate laptop. When you are elevating this laptop with a dock station, you are trying to raise the laptop up so that you can have what you call the proportional eye view to your screen, so that you don't hunch, because every hunching you do, you teach your body, and that leaves you with body pain at the end of the day. People started having what in this COVID-19, we also realized people started using what you call external keyboards and mouses, so that as you elevate the laptop with your dock station, you are not able to type on it anymore, because when you type on it, it means you place your hand in an upward position, which of course also leaves you what you call carpal tunnel syndrome, tissue of the tendons that are in this area, and that also leads to high level of disability. So we're supposed to using what you call the external keyboard. You can see one here. External keyboard, external mouses become the supplementations that were being used to make up for the ergonomic the void that we have in safe design of the laptop to meet ergonomics requirements. And you can see also, this is what we're talking about. You can see people start using external keyboards and all have those are supplementary to what's available in ensuring that they're able to work safe without actually getting exposed to higher risk by the poor design of laptops. Now, we're supposed to also create what you call ergonomic keyboard that can also help you in placing your hand properly, so that you can also have that supplementation in keeping all of us safe while we use our laptop. So these are some of the voids that we found out that were in laptop design that were not ergonomic friendly to the user, that we start having what you call supplementation. But this has helped. But the truth is, if somebody sits down tomorrow and think about the unsafe design in laptop, and tend to think it through and fill that void, and come with a laptop that fill that void of non-ergonomic configuration, and that it puts that in there, the truth is that becomes a boom for the market based on ergonomic requirements. Now, like I said earlier on, hunching is a big issue based on poor design. So you buy this product with your own money, and you also end up visiting hospital over and over again. And hunching leaves you with high level of body pain. Like researchers have said, body pain has been credited to be a high source of insomnia, because when you have body pain, you go back home at the end of the day, it interferes with your sleep. You're not able to you sleep, but you didn't really have what you call happy night's rest. It interferes with your sleep, and you come back to work the next day. You find out that because you didn't have a good enough sleep, there's what you call in the body the circadian rhythm. It's called the body clock. So the sleep you owe in the night, then the circadian rhythm of the day, it falls into the day and begin to demand for that sleep you owe during the night, because you have entered the day. And that's why you see people, they're in the meeting, they have what you call micro sleep. Every small thing they doze off. I'm sure you know one of the governors that's very popular in doing this in high level meetings. So this is as a result of hunching. Hunching leaves you with insomnia, and that's a very big issue that leaves you with high level of back pain. You must listen to this. According to the report from Kirsten Pedak of Talent University, said more than 2 billion people use smart devices daily, and hence suffer from an illness that did not exist 2 decades ago. So the more exposed you are to these devices, the more exposed you are to the illnesses that don't even have a name yet, but they exist. So be very careful, because most of these devices were designed without safety or ergonomic safety in mind. So when you see yourself, even on smartphones, most times we're on phones, when you tilt your head like this every day, understand the fact that that's a whole lot of load you are putting on your neck bone, on your vertebral column, and that leaves you with so much pain at the end of the day. So most times, for those of us who keep our hands on our smartphones and we tilt like this, over time, it becomes a level of disability that is difficult to repair. So we must be very careful when we use the gadgets that are poorly designed without ergonomic safety in mind, that also lead to deformity on the long run. It leads to irreparable disability. Now, some points we must keep in mind. Note that the average human head weighs 4 to 6 kilograms, which means we balance a bowling ball on the top of our head, of our body each day. So before you start tilting your head, know that you are tilting about 4 to 6 kilograms of weight that actually putting more intense discomfort on your vertebral column. So you must keep this in mind, that an average head weight between 4 to 6 kilograms. So by the time you are keeping this head in an awkward position based on the systems you are using, know that this will definitely come with its own level of pain. If the head is ahead of our shoulders, the muscles in the neck and upper back have to work more to keep the head up. And when it's working more, it's playing what you call a compensatory function. And that compensation must be paid for. And what you pay for it with is body pain. So when you are tilting your head or hunching, knowing that you are moving about 6 kilograms of weight is what you are hunching, and that put tension on your shoulders. Okay. For example, tilting our head forward by 15 degrees increases the load on our vertebral column by 13.5 kilograms. And this increases to 25 kilograms if we tilt our head by 45 degrees. So the more we tilt our head, the more the load increases. So understand this when you're tilting your head, so that it's not your fault. The systems were not designed with safety in mind. But here you are. This is where you pay for bills that you did not owe. So you bought the system, but somebody who created the system did not think about your safety, your convenience, your comfort at the design stage. But you're here paying for it. And at the end of the day, you find yourself going in and out of hospitals on the issue of body pain. You didn't cause this, but the system you're using just caused it. But like we said earlier on, those compensatory adjustments, supplementary adjustments, let's look out for them and use them to improve on the system until we're able to see a better design system that taught about ergonomics. According to a study on issues of musculoskeletal disorders on frequent computer users, as published by the Journal of Family Medicine and Primary Care, 47% suffered musculoskeletal disorders, 41.3% suffered neck pain, while 16% suffered wrist pain. So if you look at these studies, whichever way you look at it, so long as you use those systems, you are exposed to varied degree. It depends on how long you use them. And this is where we talk about duration of exposure and frequency of exposure. How long do you sit on your laptop on a daily basis? How often do you sit on the laptop on a weekly basis? So you just look at what you just use that to measure how often you sit and how long you sit on your laptop, because it's better to sit for a while and give yourself a break. That will give your body the chance to recover than sitting on the laptop for 8-9 hours at a stretch with that 6 kg of load that you are hunching or tilting. Know what this means to you over a period of time. And this is why most of us, we do our work today. We are so dedicated. We most of us are turning into workaholic. But remember that everything you do today, there's what you call cumulative health effect of it. You don't pay now, it accumulates. At your retirement, at old age, the effect of what you do with your body today is start manifesting. So for us to have what you call a restful and pleasurable retirement, we must take cognizance of this exposure that we have in our work with. Yes, we must work, but how do we work in ensuring that we manage these things we are exposed to, so that we can still be safe on the long run? So the choice is just of what you want to do with your body right now. But remember, when you break the law of health, you will surely pay for it in the future. It may not be today, but the payment time awaits all of us. You recall the number 4 rule of Division 0 Golden Rule talks about building safe systems, safe and healthy system. That's what Division 0 number 4 Golden Rule talks about. So we need to start designing safe system. And this doesn't come from just all, but even if we bought equipment we use and not safe, if we have what we call safe procurement protocol, we'll procure safe equipment. Start thinking safety within our workplaces. How many of us can recognize this machine? It's called jackhammer. This machine is an excavation machine that has been used for construction for many years. But the truth is that this is one of the most risky machines that is hand used in construction company. This machine vibrates the user for so long. I mean, so long as the machine is on, it sends vibration to your user, and the blood circulation within your fingers, they are restricted. So this is one of the most dangerous machines in construction. But what can we do? For us to be able to control the exposure, replace the machines that are manually handled, that leave people with high risk of exposure, replace kind of functions for mechanical tool. Now, what we have done with this one is that we have used mechanical tool to replace what this man that is handling jackhammer has been going through. What we have done right now with this is that we have used a safe machine to remove human involvement in this process. At the end of the day, we keep our workplace safe. So when we think about health and safety within our system, we will always look for a way to augment. It may not be the best that we want, but we must also find a way to see how we can actually tweak what we have and ensure that we have a system that is safe for everyone. When you use that jackhammer for so long, you are bound to come down what you call the Raynaud's syndrome, Raynaud's disease. What this means that it affects your hand, because the blood circulation when you use that machine, they were all altered. What you have to deal with at the end of the day is you have to go with fingers like this based on that exposure. But remember, if that machine was designed with the man whose hand ended up like this in mind, the man will not be like this. So understand the fact that yes, we have machines that may not have been designed with safety in mind, but we have a responsibility as an organization, as employers, as safety professionals, to replace those machines with safer machines when they are available, so that we can actually mitigate our workers or colleagues ending up in this manner when they leave our system. Then we must also talk about safety in procurement processes, safe procurement, because one thing we should do is that we do not buy products because they are cheap. We buy products because they are safe to use. Let this be a slogan in your system and keep this at the back of your mind. Don't buy products, even in your home, because they are cheap. Buy products on the basis of safety. When you keep that at the back of your mind, you will make a wise decision when you have choices to make between products. Okay, I'm almost rounding up. They also train procurement and purchasing department. If your procurement department don't have knowledge of safety, they will buy products on the basis of affordability and not on the basis of safety. So we need to also bring procurement people into safety training, so that they understand what it means to look out for safe products to buy. Developing safe procurement protocol within the organization. We must, because if we do not, we will leave our worker exposed to high vulnerability of ergonomic malfunction. Then measure users feedback on assigned tools. When you buy tools you give to users, you stand a chance to also measure what is the feedback. I mean, that's why most times we have safety wears, PPEs that were designed for very cold regions, and you find those PPEs find their way into a temperate region. I've gone to some sites where I see people wearing PPEs that are lined. They are so thick, and these are designed to be used in cold environment. But here we find them in Africa that is hot on its own, and this does not fit in. So you must also learn to get users' feedback. If you have users' feedback, that user will be able to tell you that this PPE, I'm not able to wear it or comply to it most time, because when I wear it, I feel so hot, and the sun is also hitting me. It doesn't work for me. So you need to also look for users' feedback on the tools you assign to them to use. They also use data and literature review on safety of products, because if you want to buy product, and most of us use that even when we want to check into hotels, we want to book hotels. Don't you do the Google review? You do the review. Same thing also applies to when you are buying a product. Look out for the safety review of that product. What are other people that have used the product? What are they saying about the product? How safe it is? This will guide you on buying safe products. While I close out, I need you to look for this book. It will help you greatly. It has a whole lot that you can actually Google AdTech Corporation online, and this book They'll send you a link to download this book. You need this book. If you need to design safely, this book is a guide to you to be able to actually create safe design. They don't charge you for it. It's free. If we want to send you the link, the link, you can download it and keep in your library. You need to refer to this over and over again when you're creating products and trying to show that the product is useful in terms of design. So thank you so much. These are my references, and thanks for the time, and God bless you. If there are questions, I want to take it now. Thanks.
Presentation. We're so grateful. We have received several comments from people how great they have been impacted with your presentation. Great topic and awesome presentation for all. Kudos to the organizer. The conference is interesting. People are talking about. Someone actually asked a question. I'll just attend to only one question. Person said, "What is the difference between SID and SIL?" I think the difference. How do you go about both? Let me ask.
Okay, I got that. Like I said in my presentation, it's same thing. It's same terminology. Every country uses it differently. Just like we have. Some people use HSE, some people use SHE, some people use SSHE. I mean, it's same thing. So it's different thing, but the terminology that's adopted by different countries, all that really matters. So, but whatever terminology you use, we are talking about the same thing.
Thank you. Someone asked for the link to design for that book you dropped.
I hope I can have it before we leave. If I have it, I'll share. But if not, just Google that article and you'll see it. But I'll look for it before we leave. I'll share it.
Let me ask the last question. Is that what can we do about the wrong design that exists? Like we having a house built under the power line.
Well, those are clear issues that were done by town planners. I mean, and those are that and this is where we must also, like it was discussed earlier on, start bringing government into what we do, to listen to us. And most of those things were done in ignorance. The truth is that our safety space is being opened. A lot of things that we did that were utterly wrong were done out of ignorance. Now we are beginning to realize how unsafe this is. It is better that we understand those things. They are unsafe right now, that we start looking at how to rectify. We may not be able to have 100% remediation, but starting to see what you can do about those things. If it means relocation, whatever you can do, it's a clear issue that we can't just leave them unattended to. One of the key issues that we must have in mind is that when you look, I mean, it was discussed here earlier, when you look at some buildings that were designed, they were designed with only one exit route. But somebody approved those designs, and we didn't see them with the over time. But when we have come to know the risk involved, it's time for us to start making adjustments, creating more routes. So that's why I said earlier on that it would be better if we thought it through to design safety in our product as a product concept. It is more expensive trying to adjust and put safety in. You may not have 100% result, but whatsoever you can do, there's no harm trying it out. Thank you.
The book name, the name of the book you actually told us to download.
It's Attack.
The name of the book.
Okay, I'll just share it now. Machine design. Okay, actually safety by design, how to build safety into your process.
Now, I allow one person to talk. I want maybe this person to ask the question. Oluwaseun, do you have anything to say? Because we want to allow you to, like, you have something to say, you're not typing. And Humut, raise your hand. Okay, you are offline. So let me find another person because we need to move around to the other. I'll have to talk. Esther. You're not talking. Joseph, you raise your hand. So we'll move next to the next speaker. Okay, talk.
Okay. Good afternoon, all. My question is, while on the street or while outside, we observe so many irregularities, and I don't want to say if the safety regulators are not aware, but now the deed has been done. So what are we to do? We're concerned about it. What are we to do? What are the right channels to channel all these things? Like we see some bent poles, some house built under the power lines. So many, even some house very close to the road. That any slight accident, it will run into a building and kill so many people. So where are the right channels? What are the right channels that will channel all these complaints to? And how are we sure that all these things will be taken care of? Thank you.
Okay. It depends on where you live in. If you live in Lagos State, Lagos State Safety Commission has a lot of responsibility in safety within Lagos State. You can channel those complaints to Lagos State Safety Commission. But you agree with me that most of us, all of us, are not from Lagos, are not from Nigeria. There must be a regulatory body, saddled with this responsibility, wherever location you're coming from, that you can channel this to. But the truth is that don't just feel it won't be acted upon. It will be better that you reported this issue and it was not channeled up, it was not acted upon, that you never reported it. But you have what you call guilt if what you saw that was so bad, that was an accident waiting to happen, you didn't report it, and the next day you find out somebody went there, somebody died. How will you feel? So whichever way you can, just keep reporting them as much as you can, and know one day something will be done about it. Okay?